Hello everyone. Good morning. We are on a new book today. We're starting a new book called Why Do Leaves Change Colors? We're still in Module 1, day 16 of our Unit 1. So before we get started, we're going to watch the vocabulary video so you can learn some of the new words that we're going to be talking about in this story. And while I'm sharing this, let me go ahead and tell you that I have already uploaded your new vocabulary words to the Google Classroom. Sorry, my cat almost fell off the chair backwards. So you have new vocabulary words for the last 2 books of Module 1 already uploaded. So you will need to work on those in your vocabulary journal. You will need to start on page 15. Let me stop sharing so I can do this to you. You're going to start on page 15, write the title of the book, Why Do Leaves Change Colors, and Sky Tree, and then you're going to put 2 words on a page 15, page 16, page 17, 18, and 19. Okay, so you have 2 words on a page. You have 10 new words. You have the word shape, separate, absorb, uncurled, disappear, chlorophyll, flutter, huddle, drift, and stream. So those are the words that are going to be on pages 15 through 19 of your vocabulary journal. Okay, so now let's go ahead and watch our video. Okay, there we go.
Hello, second grade friends, and welcome back to Vocabulary in Sync. I'm Mrs. Nowell. This lesson is for grade 2, module 1, focusing question 5. I'm excited to learn these 4 words with you today. The words are survive, sunlight, pigment, and absorb. Please try to use these as much as you can when you're writing or speaking. Let's learn more about these words together. Our first word is survive. Survive is a verb. The definition is to continue to live. In the icon, we can see an arrow pointing to a plant that is surviving. It is continuing to live. Let's listen to this word in definition in Spanish.
Sobrevivir es un verbo. Significa seguir viviendo.
Fantastic. Let's practice using the word survive in a sentence. Please listen as I read this sentence the first time. Also, please follow along. Many trees change in the fall to survive the winter. Now, you read it aloud with me. Many trees change in the fall to survive the winter. Fantastic. Now, you can choose to pause the video and read the sentence one more time if you like. It's always good to practice. Our next word is sunlight. Sunlight is a noun. The definition is warmth and light from the sun. In the icon or picture, we see the sun and we see the warmth and the light coming from that sun. Let's listen to this word in definition in Spanish.
La luz solar es un sustantivo. Significa calor y luz del sol.
Lovely. Now, let's practice using the word sunlight in a sentence. Please listen and follow along as I read it the first time. In the fall, there's less sunlight. Now, please read it with me. In the fall, there is less sunlight. Great. For this one, I want you to read it out loud on your own. Thank you for reading that sentence on your own. Let's learn a new word. The new word is pigment. Pigment is a noun. The definition is something natural that adds color to plants and animals. In the icon, we see a droplet of color, and it's changing the color at the bottom. Let's listen to this word and definition in Spanish.
El pigmento es un sustantivo. Significa algo natural que agrega color a plantas o animales.
Lovely. Now let's practice with the word pigment by answering a question. In this practice, I'm going to read the entire slide. It's going to ask a question, and then I'm going to ask you to answer the question using a complete sentence. Please follow along as I read. Leaves lose their dark green pigment during the fall. What other pigments do leaves have? Leaves also have blank pigments. Now, listen to the question. Leaves lose their dark green pigment during the fall. What other pigments do leaves have? Please pause the video now and talk to your learning partner and let them know what other pigments leaves have.
Okay, so we're going to learn about this today, that leaves have red pigments and yellow pigments and orange and purple.
I chose to answer this question like this. Leaves also have light green pigments. I was thinking about a tree that we have close to my house, and it has red leaves. So I could have also answered the question like this. Leaves also have red pigments. Did your answer include a color? I hope so. Our last word is absorb. Absorb is a verb. The definition is to take in or soak up. I love this icon because it is a sponge, and sponges soak up water or they take in water. They absorb. So when you see that icon, that can help you remember the word absorb. Let's listen to the word and definition in Spanish.
Absorber es un verbo. Significa aspirar o empaparse de algo.
I always learn so much from listening to the Spanish words and definitions. In this next practice, we are going to use 3 of our words: pigment, absorb, and sunlight. Please take a second and point to the word pigment. Now, point to the word absorb. Now, point to the word sunlight. Fantastic. Now, listen as I read this sentence and follow along. Their dark green pigment, or chlorophyll, helps leaves absorb sunlight. Now, please read it with me. Their dark green pigment, or chlorophyll, helps leaves absorb sunlight. And if you like, you can pause the video now and read it one more time. This is my favorite part of our work together because we get to practice the vocabulary words that we just learned. All right, let's see how well we remember these definitions. Which word means to take in or soak up? A, sunlight. B, pigment. C, absorb. Which word means to take in or soak up? A, sunlight. B, pigment. C, absorb. If you said absorb, make this sound because we were taking in or soaking up. Great work. If not, maybe that picture and sound can remind you of absorb. Let's do one more. Which word means to continue to live? A, sunlight. B, survive. Or C, absorb. Which word means to continue to live? A, sunlight. B, survive. C, absorb. Did you say B, survive? Great work. You can give yourself a high five. Thank you so much, second graders, for learning these vocabulary words with me. Have a great day and do great things.
Okay, so those are 4 words that we're going to have in our new text, Why Do Leaves Change Colors? Go ahead and get out your knowledge response journal and have that ready because we are going to use it today. Right. Here we go.
Welcome back, amazing observers. I'm Sue Sabella, your Great Minds teacher. We have a lot to be curious about today. Let's see what we need to get ready to learn. Today you'll need handout 20A, which is the Notice and Wonder chart, and your pencil. So please pause here to gather what you need and just hit play when you're ready to continue.
Okay, so you're going to do the Notice and the Wonder chart today in your knowledge response journal. So you need your journal and pencil.
During Module 1, we'll continue to think about this big question together. And our knowledge about change will continue to grow. Let's read this question together. How does change impact people and nature? We've explored 3 texts to help us think about the essential question. How do you know it's fall? The little yellow leaf, and a color of his own. Today, we'll begin exploring a new text, and this new text will help build our scientific knowledge. So, get ready, curious scientists. Let's begin. This question will guide our thinking as we explore this new text over the next few video lessons. Please read this focusing question to yourself, and then we'll read it together.
How does weather impact leaves in fall?
How does weather impact leaves in fall? Our new text is, Why Do Leaves Change Color? This text was written by Betty Maestro, and it was illustrated by Loretta Krupinski. Since this is a new text, it's very important to take time to notice and wonder. Now it's time to notice and wonder with our new text. The really cool part about doing this during a video lesson is I'm putting you in charge. I'm going to read the new text all together, so it'll be up to you to decide when to pause, even when to scroll back to listen again if you need to. So you're the one in charge during Notice and Wonder. I think it'd be a great idea to pause on each page, but it's up to you how long to pause. And don't forget, this is such an interesting book. Pause to make sure you're jotting down everything that you notice and all the questions that you have in the Wonder column. Why do leaves change color? Betsy Maestro, illustrated by Loretta Krupinski. Look at the leaves. It's autumn and leaves are turning red and yellow, golden brown. Each type of tree has its own kind of leaves. The colors of autumn leaves differ from tree to tree. Some oak leaves may be brown or yellow, while maple leaves may turn bright red. Leaves come in different sizes and shapes, as well as colors. Some leaves are wide and others narrow. Some have points, while others may be rounded. How many different kinds can you find? Sugar maple, red maple, tulip. White oak, sassafras, black birch, silver maple, Norway maple, gray birch, red oak. Just a few weeks ago, all the leaves were green. Back in the spring, the tiny new leaves uncurled from their buds. The green color in the leaves helps them to absorb or hold sunlight. Chlorophyll gives the leaves their green coloring. Chlorophyll is a natural coloring called a pigment. Let's zoom in a bit to look closely at the diagram to see what you notice and wonder. Inside of leaf, vein, upper surface, chlorophyll, air hole, air space.
Okay, so I want you guys to think about how thin a leaf is and how small it is in your hand. And all of this is the inside of that thin leaf. Isn't that amazing? How all of that stuff is inside a leaf that we can just pinch between our fingers? It's crazy.
Leaves are very important to the tree. They make a kind of sugar that is the tree's food. Leaves need sunlight, water, and air to make this food. The leaves work to feed the tree all summer long. The sugar is used by all parts of the tree: the leaves, branches, trunk, and roots. The food, or sugar, helps the tree to grow. Extra sugar is stored in the leaves. In the fall, many things are changing. In many places, there is a change in the weather. There are changes in light and temperature. Inside the leaves, there will be many changes too. All of these changes bring about the beautiful colors of fall. In the fall, there are fewer hours of sunlight each day. The change in the light tells the tree to get ready for winter. Winter is a time of rest for the tree. When winter comes, the tree will have to survive with less water and sunlight. The tree begins to get ready for its winter rest. It needs very little food now, and the leaves stop their work. The life of the leaves is almost at an end. The tree no longer needs them. When the leaves die, they will fall from the tree. This will happen slowly over a number of weeks. As the leaves begin to separate from the tree, they get less water. Without water, the leaves cannot make new chlorophyll. The old chlorophyll begins to fade. The green color starts to disappear. Now other colors can be seen in the leaves. Other pigments have been in the leaves all along, but they were hidden by the dark green of the chlorophyll. Once the green color fades, the yellow and orange pigments can be seen. These pigments give color to the leaves of birches, poplars, and elms. Some foods like bananas and carrots get their natural yellow and orange coloring from these same pigments. They also give color to some flowers. Maybe you can think of some. Aspen, poplar, elm, gray birch, white birch. Red maple, sugar maple, white oak, elm. Autumn leaves have other colors as well. The yellows and oranges have been in the leaves all along. Other pigments are made as the leaves begin to die. These new pigments are made from the extra sugar stored in the leaves. Sunlight causes the stored sugar to change to pigment. The new pigments make some leaves turn red, rust, or purple. The more sugar there is, the brighter the colors will be. Bright days and cool nights seem to bring out the best fall colors. Red oak, gray birch. Maple leaves get their red color from these new pigments. Many flowers and some foods, such as beets and radishes, get their color from these red pigments. The brilliant red of sumac leaves shows up only in the fall when these pigments form. Some trees, like oaks, make tannin in the fall. Tannin is not a pigment, but it does color the leaves. Some oak leaves turn a rich brown color in autumn. See if you can find some. You may still be able to see some green coloring too. Red maple, white oak, sumac, red oak. The changing color of autumn leaves is caused by changes in weather and light. This is why the colors are not the same every year. The best leaf colors usually come with lots of bright sunshine and crisp, clear nights. Too much rain may make the colors dull. An early frost may kill the leaves too soon. Evergreen trees like pines and spruces keep their leaves all year, but in cool climates, other trees must lose their leaves to survive in winter. After the leaves have changed color, they are ready to separate from the tree. When they are just barely hanging on, a little bit of wind or rain will make them fall to the ground. In just a short time, the tree will begin to look bare. Piles of dead leaves collect under the tree. Some will blow away, others will be raked up. The leaves that are left will begin to rot. Over time, they will become part of the soil. Rotting leaves enrich the soil with minerals the tree needs to stay healthy. When the last of the leaves have fallen, the tree is ready for winter. During the cold weather, the tree will be dormant or resting. New leaf buds have already formed. Next spring, they will open and begin to make food for the tree. But now, in fall, it's time to enjoy the colors of the leaves. Beautiful autumn foliage cannot be seen everywhere. Only some places, such as New England, have displays of many colors. This is because the weather conditions there are usually just right, and there are so many different kinds of trees. Fall is a time to have fun with leaves. It's a time to take in the sights and sounds of the leaves. It's a time for jumping into great piles of leaves, and then sometimes a time for raking them up. Fall is a time to get ready for winter. The trees are ready. Are you? By exploring a new text, your knowledge will continue to grow even more. And this text is answering a scientific question. How cool is that? Scientists and curious readers can learn a lot just by noticing and wondering around a new text. What did you learn today that you could share with others that would grow their knowledge? Tell someone what you learned and what you noticed, and I will see you again soon.
Okay, so in your knowledge response journal on page 28, all right, you're going to do your notice and wonder chart, okay? So you need to put why do leaves change color at the top of the page and today's date, 10-1, and write notice and wonder. And if you need to go back, rewind the video, go back and listen to the story again, that's fine. I've also uploaded a digital copy of the book for you on your classroom, okay? I want you to come up with 2 notices and 1 wonder, okay? 2 notices and 1 wonder. And if you can come up with more than that, that would be fabulous. But what I want you to do right now is you're going to work on this, notices and wonders, pause the video, and when you have come up with at least 2 notices and at least 1 wonder, you can push play, and then I will share mine with you, okay? So go ahead and push pause and work on your notices and wonders, and then push play when you are ready. Okay, so on my notice and wonder chart, I wrote, I noticed the leaves have their fall colors all the time. Did you guys hear that when she was reading the book? That the yellows and the reds and the oranges and the purples, they are already inside the leaf and they're just covered up with the green from the spring through summer to the fall. I noticed that leaves make their own food. How cool is that? And I noticed on page 12 that the birds were flying in the shape of a V. We talked about that in our first text that we did in Module 1. So I did 2 wonders. I said, I wonder why the trees can't keep green leaves in winter. And why are the pigments in the leaves hidden by the chlorophyll? So those are my notices and my wonders. Okay. And then on page 29 of your journal, you are going to answer that question. Today I learned. And you can just tell me if it's something that you learned about leaves or chlorophyll or how they used to have pigment and how they have pigment in their leaves the whole time. Just tell me one thing that you learned on page 29. Okay? All right. And so that is our lesson for today. So tomorrow we will continue with why the leaves change color, and maybe we'll learn some more really cool scientific information. All right, so you guys have a great morning, and I will see you later.